Morning. It is 700 hours and 19 minutes. And today is Sunday, August 19, 2018. This came to me recently. A lot of things I come with lives. I want to speak on other things, but it felt like because my focus and what was given to me is community and unity. So it's hard to really just talk about finances on their own. Like I want to talk about finances, but it's like before I do that, it's like we're missing a lot of things that's going within our community. So are our neighborhoods, because we are not a community. Because the word community has the word commune, unit, it, even the word I, even on our self level, we not even right ourselves within ourselves. Like I don't mean like, okay, you smoke, you drink, okay, nothing wrong with that. But I mean get right. Like inside of this person or you, it's like the iniquities that plagued us. It's a plague. It's a plague. And as I keep going through history, nobody says this again. I don't know why a lot of things is being ignored that maybe everybody else can ignore and get telling you to sweep it under the rug, like used to paint you up in blackface and tell you act like a buffoon. Now love and hip hop. We got scandal. And it's like the men acting like fools, the women acting like fools. Then the scandal, the women, then you got the men acting like fools on the like scandal with that black woman being a fool. It's like, but she was groomed from that because she was a man-me. And then we got the syrup. It's like, when are we going to actually start using this information and be like, hold up, wait, this really, not saying that, because on Black History Month, we learn about who invented what Rosa Parks did. She wasn't the first lady to sit down the bus, but she was an activist, and she wasn't the first activist to do it. When we gonna stop like just using that? It's, to me, that's kind of not corny. We talk about Brother Malcolm and Martin Luther King. What about the other brothers? I don't, and until I gotta search it. Nobody's telling us this. So when I talk, we took on, like we did take on their patriarch. They make, like, that's why it's matrimony. They trying to diss the word matrimony. That's why it became secular, because we don't look back into anything. To be married, you didn't have a marriage license. It's so much that we're doing now, and it's like the creator looking at us like, you're not using me. So as I don't say God, women are like, well, you're not a man of God, but I'm using God. No, you're not, because you're not saying Jesus. But Jesus said we're gonna do greater works to him. And if you look at the greater works of Jesus, the word lame, as I explained in my last live, so dark. It's dark outside, and I don't really like that, so I don't really turn on my light. Maybe if I move this back or point it that way. Still in our light, but you see me in my other videos or my other lives that I have that turn into videos. So it's like, when are we going to break free from that? But I'm learning to break free. You got to know the information. And there's a museum I want to go to. Like, I want to go to I want to go to places. Like, I don't want to go to Dade County, Miami, or Miami, Florida, just to go on the beach. Got beaches here. They're just as clean or just as dirty as in Miami. Women are just as, people might not go to it. I'm not worried about the women, because my whole purpose of beach is not to go to women. If I want to go to women, I would go to the Playboy Mansion or something of that nature, where I know the bum competition in Brazil, things like that. If I just want to see women, or I want to see naked black women, I go to like the black beauty pageants and things like that. And it's not, and people say that's being lustful. That's why I want a woman of. But even in our trusting in God, we don't even know the understanding or the history of God. But that's okay. But we don't talk about, like, in the black churches, we should talk about this to our black kids. Because the man, when I first started in the church, I was led to go to church to help the church. And it became hard when other things started being noticed, like in the church. And it happened in the church. And this is a good family. This family is a good family at a church I started going to, called Prayer Tower. It's a great family that's the casters over the church that the creator gave. It should be way bigger, but they produced over like 20 pastors to come out of that church. and they call it the Big Ten. That's kind of funny, but it's 10 churches, but it's other pastors with the other. They produce or help train or guide. Basically, I don't say guide because I don't like training and stuff because he's like, and they talk about it. So it's not like it's a secret of who these pastors are or people. I don't know all their names. We call it the Big Ten. It sounded funny. It sounded like football. But then also heard my pastor this. It's like, that's not your damn pastor. You didn't own this man. He's your guider. You don't even listen to him. That's why you had them kids at a young age. That's why you still having kids and not men. And it's like stuff that people don't listen to without watching this guy. He's like, you young bucks. Stop calling us bucks. Okay. I don't know how much he know his history, but that come off disrespectful, like the word nigga and the word bitch. I remember I called my sister a bitch because of the Missy Elliott song, She's a Bitch. My mother was like, you said what? She's a wow. Then as I got older, I started learning what the word means. But I'm like, don't ever say that word. And she explained it, even though she was angry. And we look at people, you can't say that to them like that. Why the hell you can't? And why the high? So in the high, in the heaven, how come I can't explain it, how they brought it out? You shouldn't teach it like that. Why can't I teach? Why you using the word can't? You're not teaching it. Nobody's teaching this to your children. So when I sat down in the church with them, man, and it sound angry, but this is how I am because it's just baffling to me how we overlook everything that happened throughout history. Now we into a time we think we're equal or we're being treated fair with people because you got a damn college degree and you got a good job. What the hell does that mean? You don't know shit about yourself. You don't know nothing about nothing. You don't even know about history. I studied African American history. African American, there's no such thing as African American. I was born in America. Why am I called American? Why do I need a birth certificate? They cannot explain nothing of nothing. I don't need a social care. Why do I need a license to drive? Why do I need everything? What does this matter? It's cool you can count how many people in America, but why do I need Pacific and certain things just to be? I'm a being. Why do I need a number over my name? Why do you need to keep track of me? See, nobody questions that. Nobody talks about this. And it's like you telling me to be quiet. You telling me, oh, there's something wrong with you as a man because you don't do this and that. There's something wrong with you as a woman. You don't do this and that. And then that's why men and women and women and men do not listen to each other. I never seen men and women listen to each other. That's another problem we have. It's things I'm saying that's resonating with you that makes sense, but we talking about, and then we got people out there talking about, well, all these solutions, all this, why it's nothing. I don't say it like that. I say, how come I don't know these people? I want to know it was these like over, I think it was like 15 on the panel of CNN. With CNN, I don't watch the CNN, it's very racist. They have a topic, they have a goal, because the media is racist. Because the media is created by the conquerors. British run everything. And part of British, you got Dutch, you got the Scottish, you got the French, you got the Polish, so that's the Pollards. So how many, the Spanish, you got the Spanish is not even Spanish, they call it Spaniards. Mexican and Puerto Ricans, Colombian, it became one once they started colonizing with white people and black. You needed certain types. You ever play a game? You can play it like at the Dave and Buster's, how to breed a horse. That's what they're doing. That's why it's breed. That's why I use the word breed, B-R-E-E-D. That's when you have a man and woman, whatever species have sex, that's of a different species, and they keep doing it until it mixes them around. That's why you are mixed once you be, and it is a such thing as race and class. I wish I hope, and I don't like the word wish because that's an enchantment spell that like to keep the spell going. When you say wish, like I wish this happened. That's a spell. Instead of saying, I hope or by faith this will happen. I hope we stop saying, I hope we start listening to each other. And I have faith that we will, because we understand that until we listen to each other, nothing's going to change. We're going to continue to have all of the separation and dividing of man and woman as I wrote down yesterday. We're going to continue to have this towards each other because we don't want to listen. Women think that's how it is because, okay, there's into a man. Okay, that's not the only man in the world. What I'm going to teach my daughter is, or the guy here, I'm like, there is some guys that's going to treat you bad. There's going to be some nice guys. I know he might look more attractive than the guy, but that don't mean he the guy you should even think about talking to. That don't mean you should ignore every guy. Like I seen a woman when I was on Facebook, when I was on there, talk about, I'm happy my little daughter ignored young boys. I was like, it's cool to her not to pay attention at a young age, but to ignore. I was like, and you might not look at it this way because you just seeing that little boy was like, look, even and I like, what about the little boy that they just say hi to her? He's in her class when he see her outside. I naturally, if I work with you, I don't know what people y'all are. You are some mean and nasty people. I'm noticing. If I see you and I see you outside, you may not notice me, or you might have. I say hi, how you doing? And like, oh, the girl, like especially with the lady, she's like, oh, hi, how you doing? Cool. I don't care if she with a dude. I'm like, oh, that's it. I see her with a dude. Oh, what's up, man? Out of courtesy and respect. That's just me though. But you call it curbing dudes. And then you wonder why people treat you the way you treat you. But you're the one that's gossiping. You're the one talking about people, but you wonder why people don't want to be around you. See, that don't make sense to me. See, as a man, to me, a woman has to make sense. And I'm not the type of person that don't make sense. And if a woman don't make sense to me, then she probably won't like me because I'm gonna speak a lot of sense to her, and all she's gonna be regurgitating or throwing up what she was taught traditionally. She's gonna follow those curses, like the April, her mother and her aunt and her grandma told me. They taught her how to suck penis real good and how to slob it all down. I said, cool, okay, you've been doing that to how many men? But then at the same time, she haven't been with a lot of men, but she sucked a lot of penis. But I don't make her nasty. But they also told her though that the men that she meet, that's gonna have good penis. So if I'm gonna put it in my head, you manifesting it. And see, people don't want to talk like this. People like, my life changed. I'm like, you manifested. They was like, huh? I even say this to well-known people that I have met. And I say, you manifested that. And they looked at me like, they had no idea what manifested mean. So I just said in simpler terms, what you worked for and what you put your mind to, and you make sure you woke up, you did it, you produced it, you prepared for it, it was going to happen. You can't change that. What level you want it to happen on, now that's really up to you. Because it depends on how much work you put into it. Because people think if you just pray, and pray, it's going to change. It will, because you put a thought to it. That's the thing about manifesting. You can think it too. Especially like if I'm understanding, if you want to get a scholarship and I have got or a grant, I wrote to the grant or the scholarship place. But he was like, I'm going to get this. And you're not sitting there working. You're not putting no negative on it. That's how I look at it. No negative on it. You might put some type of, okay, man, it might be hard, but I'm going to do it. That's not negative. You just working within the person you are, because a lot of things in life don't work out. A lot of events, a lot of situations, your life really don't change, but you put effort into it. It don't require a lot of effort just to smile at a person, to move your hands, to say hi. Like a lot of things, it don't require a lot. It don't. It's just a little bit of effort, a little fortitude, and it's like that's nothing. And now it happened. Like, oh, I did get accepted. I got the grant. I got the scholarship. That's why it worked, because that's what manifesting is. You put in your mind, you put a little bit of your heart into it, and then you might put your whole heart into it. That's even better. That's based on the level you wanted to go. If you only wanted to get you, like just say if you selling like Hallmark cars or cars you make poems, poetry. If you only wanted to get you through the year, you might sell enough to get you 300, 200,000. Like one lady, she do Valentine's Day, only Valentine's. Valentine's cover her whole year. She make over 200,000, and then eventually she started making over 300,000 a year on one day. She made over 300,000 one day. Well, within the Valentine 2 weeks a day. I think she said she started a month and a half. So she worked her hardest, but she had to learn this though. She learned from the past. Because if people say I don't use my past, that's a lie. Because that means you have no knowledge of. That's a lie. But you can use your past the right and wrong way to automatically assume when you look at a person is using your past the wrong way. But if you see like, okay, I don't like this, because you already have a learning tool to go off of. You got a template. Okay, I don't want to be with a person. I don't mind. That's another person that date. I don't want to be like me. I want to be the woman that had lots of male friends or date lots of men at one time. That's just me. Because I learned the type of woman for me, she's not going to be doing that. She's not going to justify that. Or I don't want a woman that think I'm her bank. Like I just supposed to pay for everything, even on the first date. That's not the type of woman, because as I move on in my life, if she think that, don't regard it, because I'm doing very well right now. And if some things don't show up, because I'm not trying to get those things right now, those things is not important to me. Those are important to you because the way you live your life. You don't see a gratitude and just having this. You don't see a contentment or understanding. You don't see what I'm trying to do. You only see your way. And if it don't come out your way, you don't see. So it's like we forgetting that what a lot of people went through to get to where they at, even what you went through. See, and like a man, I just heard, and I just said this yesterday in a couple other lives I made, and they recordings now. I don't forget where I come from. The creator just told me to remind myself, do not forget where I come from. A lot of times I'm just talking. I'm not even really challenging you or guiding you. I'm just talking, just going through my experience. Because I know it's a person out there, a man or a woman, nationality, ethnicity, or a man or a woman that's of African descent like me, or there's a young man or a woman that's of African descent that's like me, that go through life and like wonder, why is this? Why is that? Because we are so bred, fostered, and nurtured to believe, not to know. Because if I was to know, I wouldn't have found out about blackface and how they used to sit us in front and tell us to shuck and jive. That's like the same industry. They tell a young man his little rap makes sense and it don't. His little singing is good, but it's not. But since you can suck and jive, you're good and I can market you. There was this one girl named Tiffany Evans. They didn't market her well, but she could actually sing. But then there's, like, no offense, I liked the TLC. They made great music after a while. But like T-Boz couldn't really sing, or Chili or Left Eye, but they had good music. But at first it wasn't good music, but they made a good song, I Ain't Too Proud to Beg. It was kind of like a double negative, like one canceled out the other if you paid attention. They advertised their first video, condoms on their body. Okay, contraceptive, birth control, cool, okay. But then they talk about, I'm not too proud to beg if I need in the morning, in the middle of the night. But they was giving off, okay, sex is cool, that's liberation of self, cool. But they had the condom, so like, well, I'm still gonna use the condom, I'm gonna protect myself. But it's like, first, let's get to one thing first. So basically, when men and women not listening to each other, let's get to one thing first. Let's establish one thing. And we have yet to establish that one thing. So people that's making other videos that's looking for GoFundMes and Patreons, you ever talk about let's establish one thing. And it's like, it's always baffling to watch all these other people that make these social medias to not like understand. Like, let's get one thing first. Do men listen to women? No, we don't. And I learned about it because when I did start going to church, and that the creator the spirit let me to go clean and keep helping out. I got to get back to that. That's my fault. That's on me purely, not the creator or the spirit. Spirit didn't move me. And not so much to even go to the church. But I would go do things. And I got so used to, like, he asked me to come do something one time. Like, he came and got me. It was happening a few times. He's like, sit down. I'm like, all right. I'm thinking, like, what you need me to do? Because I was there to help. And I wasn't being paid. And I didn't worry about being paid. But he did give me money. So it was not like, it was like a person that, I never did anything. That's why people that got so much negative that's why I don't spit negative on the church. I'm talking about the people in the church. There are pastors out there that just take your money. They don't tell you what the money is used for. But if you understand what storing up money is, like when they do need a rent, that's where that money's going to. When the gas do need to be paid, that's where that money going to. I don't speak bad on like really, because I remember the first lady, and that was in the spirit. Do not put your mouth on people. You don't know who they are. I talk about what they done to me. I'm not putting my mouth on them. See, there's a difference. People are like, oh, you talked about it. They talk about him. I just told you what he said or what she said to me. It's not talking. If that's talking about him, I'm quite sure then even our creator talked about people. Because even in the story of these biblical, what they want to call what was spiritual or biblical written by the creator, That mean he talked about people. That mean he was a gospeler. See, and that's the word. Gossip is not bad, but gospel. See the word spell was in gospel. You're putting spells on people. Oh, I hate her. You're putting hate on her. That's a spell. You're casting the spell of hate on her. You're covering her with hate. And then you wondering why the way she the one that's being good to people. Nice mean foolish. Look it up. The original word nice mean foolish. It'll tell you that. Even in the regular definition. And you wondering why she having a problem, like she don't want to talk to you. And I understand that. See, I can understand that. But then now I want to break down, don't forget who you are to her. Don't forget, or to him. You wonder why he the way he is, but don't forget who you are. That's not who you are. You're not meant to be out here with these running the street with other misguided young men and women. You're not meant to hurt people. You're not supposed to be fighting. A child is not bad. We keep saying that there's bad parents. Just put that on the parent. Don't put that on the child. You are exposed when you have a child. A man just said this. I was like, everything, I'm going to keep regurgitating the same thing because nothing has changed. Nothing is different from what happened from thousands of years ago to 2018 to 35 years ago. It's not really a lot of change. Even spiritually. I don't know where people keep saying, oh, it's spiritually changed. No, it happened. What spiritually changed? What? Nothing. We're still doing the same things that we're still not even showing because we're not teaching. But sometimes, in some cases, teaching might be neither word or the word train, because when you do that, like when you go to a job, you may not know their system. I need you to specifically know this system because this is the system you are using. So in this case, you do need to be trained. But I like the word guide because guide saying less forceful. God still give you the will like our creator. So that's why I like the word guide. It's not I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying if you put your hand over that fire, you will burn yourself. If you step on that hot coal, your feet will get blisters. That's all I'm telling you. But if you do not as I say and what I say, but if you do what I like at the time, if you do what I'm showing you, what I'm expressing to you, believe me, it's gonna go very well with you. You're going to start learning, you're going to start educating yourself, and you're going to know more about what you're doing. Then this is how the creator is showing me. That's why he's so adamant about me. Talk about this first before I start getting it. What is it that you have a lot of money, but you don't understand your life, or you forgot where you came from? Like a lot of people make millions of dollars. They don't even give back to the charity. I talk about no corny charity. I mean, if I make millions of dollars, I'm making my own charity where I know where the money going to. I'm going to hire a person and pay them and make sure they know where the money going to. I just found out, was it Ashanti? Even Ashanti got hit for tax evasion. The president doesn't. He told you I found the loops. It wasn't loops. Somebody helped him because he's the president of this United States of America is illiterate. He don't really know how to read and a lot of things. And I figured out watching him. And I watched a lot of things he do. I wasn't studying him. I was just very observant. He don't know how to read. And I was like, wow, a person became a president that cannot read. I was very shocked. People were like, how you know that? I was like, you never watched him, did you? He don't know how to read. He don't. And a lot of his things, that's what I say, if I'm going to listen to somebody, I say I don't listen to him how to be rich because he gonna have the right information. He was given $1 million at a young age, so that be invested. A lot of his and people are like, well, a lot of his business failed. That's not a good person to use. I was like, yes, it is. I'm not saying he's the only person you should look at, but if you talk to him, he'll tell you who he used. I would go to those people. I will only go by. I would listen to the ones that it didn't fail because it wasn't successful. It was success because he went out and tried it. And that's how I look at it for me. As long as I go out and try, it's not a fail. I wasn't full of my success because I'm learning. I didn't have the ability to understand yet. Now, when I start having the ability to understand and to gain knowledge and the knowledge that I understand that I didn't know, now let me gain it. Like, you won't gain information or understanding or knowledge until you go through it. But somehow, miraculously, somehow I'm supposed to know how to do a lot of things without going through it or ever seeing it before. Miraculously, my power supposed to be under under submission to understanding already. See, if it's submission, I had to use it like that. My power should be under submission to understand. I mean, I'm supposed to be course and learned and everything already. I never done it before. I never surfed. I never surfed, but somehow I should be surfing when I jump on that surfboard. It's not a Beyonce reference, because I know y'all probably went to the concert in Buffalo, New York. People was making sure they was calling off work. They was getting their hair done. And this is one thing that I was men and women don't listen to men. Blonde hair is weird, very, very weird, and very contrasting to if a woman is about her own beauty. Makeup is very weird, and I'm saying the word contrasting because it's like contradicting to your beauty. Because I say this, and this is why men say this. Women and a young lady said it. She was like 20. I was like, oh, I was joking with her about taking her out and everything. Like, I just got a boyfriend, and her name, and it was like I said something. I was like, it wasn't even meant to be mean. This is like talking about natural hair, and that's when I was like, all right, I have nothing to say to you no more. Because every time I speak to her, it's like it was like a battle. That's why I know she have a gripe with black men. I don't know if her boyfriend, she got a boyfriend now, probably mixed or he probably light skinned. If he dark skinned, I'm gonna be very shocked because she dark skinned, African descent woman, and she's from America. And she was like, well, if I have like, oh, I was talking about, I was like, who is y'all? I was like, I'm not on social media. I'm not on media. Capital M, capital E, capital D, capital I, I'm not controlled by the British. Only thing, I am part of the organization because I am in America and I got a birth certificate and a social security number. I joined the military. Them are the only organizations I'm part of. I'm not affiliated to no other organization. And I didn't say it to her like that, but she just went off into, if y'all know if I had, y'all kill me with that. I was like, what is you talking about? I was like, I'm not on as soon as she said that, I was like, I'm not on social media. My own, these are my own thoughts. A lot of my thoughts are like, and I learned people watch social media so much, they don't have their own objective or perspective on life anymore. Like I talk about sports, I was like, well, he this and that. I was like, that sounds like ESPN. Talk like you actually did the own research. Like for instance, if I did a research, I just took this year. I looked at other years too to make it funny. They say that the West, and I'm gonna use a basketball. The West is stronger than the East. The East I had started counting the games. It was very hard because nobody's keeping track. By the little bit, half of the season towards the playoffs, I had calculated the East had beat the West teams 20 more games. I did the head-to-head matchups. The Eastern Conference versus Western Conference team. So when Toronto played Houston, they won. That's one game. And they won by a lot. When I seen it was a Toronto game, they played it was like Utah. They beat them by almost 20 points. I was like, or Denver lost by 30 to like more than 5 times. Or the Phoenix lost by 30 by at least 10 Eastern Conference teams, more than 2 times for both teams. I was sitting there like, and that was the worst. The worst Western Conference team was 21-61. That was the Phoenix Suns in the 2018 season. Atlanta was the worst Eastern Conference team. They were 24-58. So I was like, we won one more game than 3 more games than them, and played like a game less. But they both played 82 games. 82 games. Yeah, so they played the same amount of games. It just looked at weird. Sorry about that. I'm special. And I was like, so we won 3 more games. So that right there, that's 3 games ahead, right there. And there's only the Houston Rockets was 65-17. The next best team was the Eastern Conference team with Toronto, 59-23. Golden State was 58-24. Portland was 49, but Boston was 52-27. And Philadelphia was 52-30. Then Oklahoma was 48 and 33. But then the next team before 48, before Oklahoma, was Cleveland, 50 and 32. They went to the NBA Finals. Golden State was the second place team in the Western Conference that went to the NBA Finals. Cleveland was the fourth best team in the Eastern Conference, went to the NBA Finals. So by declare, the top four teams in each conference always go to the NBA Finals. And I looked at last year, the same teams, Milwaukee, Washington, Indiana, Cleveland, Philly didn't make it, Boston and Toronto, and there was another Eastern Conference team that made it to the NBA Finals last year. And they have been making it to the top, like Toronto, Boston, and like Indiana or Cleveland. But Miami was going for a while because LeBron was on the team. The same four teams was making it to the Eastern Conference Finals or the semifinals or to the playoffs. It's like the same Western teams: Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors, Portland Trailblazers, Oklahoma City Thunder, Utah Jazz, New Orleans Pelicans, San Antonio Spurs, which they was higher. Minnesota Timberwolves, they ain't making it in a while. Utah was the 8th seed last year. So then you had Denver last year in the playoffs at the 7th seed. So, but the same teams keep being recycled to the playoff. So I don't do the beta in the alpha, because that's a matriarch of telling me I'm stronger or weaker than somebody, or based on your perception. But if I base that on my perception, just listening to ESPN, I would really believe the Eastern Conference would be the Eastern Conference. But somehow the same teams keep making the playoffs on each conference. But somehow we got, and I'm just using this as an analogy. I'm going to sum it up using men and women. Somehow we believe, that's why I say we don't know. Because if you know, you would took the time out to figure this out. You would actually write down, like, I'll write this down. That's all I know. It's not true. And it don't make sense when I hear it, so I have to go study. And this is what we don't teach anymore. Why don't black people like each other? Because they was making a fool out of us since the 2nd century. That's the year, because we in the 20th century. If you ever notice, Fox got 21st century. We're not in the 21st century yet. We only in the year 2000. Every 100 years, that's 1 century. So in the year 200, since the year 200 of after Christ, I'm guessing that it was, because all to do is really guess, because information is not leading. It don't go back to year 200. So I want to let you know that that's kind of hard to work with it. But I know if you watch people, the world wasn't this way when it started. Because if we really looking at it and saying, how was the world? We had certain things that happened, but not on a grand and a mass stand we see it on. We don't see the men and women. We don't have that like men and women. Because if I go to work, don't matter if I made $18 an hour or $18,000 an hour, we still had good family structure, foundation. What else the word? Creating, forming, bonding, building of a family. Now we don't have that. We're looking at, okay, how much income? That didn't matter, because you can work at McDonald's and get a scholarship. Or if you're 17, and if your parents taught you right, because if you're bad, your parents didn't teach you right, or misguided, you missed something there. Your parents missed it. But a lot of important, I can't explain to a child how life going to be. They got to experience life. But I know I can guide a child, be like, I know you got to work. You don't got to worry about it. You got to work on money manners, yourself, learn about a lot of things in life that pertain to gaining more knowledge of. I know it's good to be very spiritual. Whatever your spiritual relationship is, that's up to you. I cannot help you with that. You can call me and we can do things like, okay, I'm going to look at you. What's best for you? I don't know what's best for you. Only you know. When you speak, all I'm going to do is be like, okay, you took this road, but there was an obstacle. Now, the obstacle is a big tree that's like, let's say this tree is a giant tree. All right, you can climb over the tree, or we can prepare a little bit better now, so you don't have to climb over the tree. You can go around. The tree might be 175,000 feet long. Okay, sometimes you can make a route before you know that tree failed, because you've seen other people like, yo, that tree failed. That tree failed. You might want to avoid that tree. It's 18, it's 18 miles down the road. But if you start back here from this direction and go that way, you can still get back on that same path. You just got to start right here. But if you go down to the tree, you got to go all the way around. It's a choice. It's almost like the same time and distance, but I'd rather for you to start right here because that tree down there, if you're going around it, you just going in a straight line. But at least down here, you making a row and a mark and you setting on the path and you can get back on the path. That might save you an hour. See, you don't have time to really spare. What if that hour was to get you because you manifested great for you and you didn't have a chance? You took an hour away, not out of your life. You didn't waste an hour. You just took it away because within that hour, they could say something just can change real quick. Well, I need you to come down here, but I'm on this long route. Like, dang, now you're gonna rush in. Now you start worrying and that's how ailments and stress build up. But if you can prepare, the less stress you have, the less sick you will get, the less you will have to think about. Worrying is a sickness. It's not even a sin. Debating is a sickness. Like, I don't debate. Like, don't debate. I wasn't debating. I was literally asking a question. This person just got so adamant about their only thought. And I was trying to ask them, that's your only thought. Okay. So I'm learning now. And I'm 35 to sound funny, but other people learned this too. If a person is so adamant about, if I ask you a question, why is it so important for the man to pay for everything or let alone pay for first date? And all I can give you is one answer. And it's not, I thought I was going to hear them explain it why, but I didn't get the explanation. I just got the traditional passed down view. Oh, well, it was taught by a man. Okay. And I was like, why you think this way? A man, but they didn't really stay on topic. They said like the man, I'm not going to take care of a man. I was like, hold on, stop. I kept saying, and she wouldn't listen because she was so adamant about her. And that's what I should have just stopped. I just said, okay, cool. That's your view. That's all I should have did. But no, but I was like, but I went into it because I thought it was going to really turn out. And sometimes you can't, even this conversation, you can't have it at everybody. I can't do this live. I'm not for everybody on this live. I'm okay with the people I reach. People like, you don't care about reaching other people? No, not really. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here. I'm not trying to convince not one person to change or to do anything different in their life. I just want to challenge their mind to be like, to actually define what you're talking, like really get to know. Like when people say, I don't know who I am, that means you never really got to know yourself. So you be going all this long. They're like, I used to do this. I was like, okay, now that makes sense. That means you didn't know yourself. So before you met this person, before you got this job, before you went to this area, before you started traveling, it's like you used to do this. Why you stopped doing it? Go back to the beginning. What was like they say, what was your first love? Don't go back to your first love sometimes, but what made you fall in love? And it wasn't the money. So every time somebody utilizes money and they compare it to love or even utilize love, I'm just going to be quiet. Because I was like, that's not what made you like him. I know you get where you're like, that's not what made you want to talk to him. That's not what made you enjoy him. That's not what made you enjoy her. And if it did, then that's how it's going to end. Everything end on how it began. That's why it's good to remember what was there before. Do you remember the time how you fall in love? I made it so memorable to her, and it was just so simple. I came to the door, I pulled out her seat, and I kept doing it consistently. And if she don't notice that, because she listening to women that don't want to be married or be courted the right way, or they think that's one way to be with a person, she's not going to see that like, wow, the money that he do have, he's taking this effort, and I know he gonna have more later because look how hard he was working. That's what I loved about him, his hard work. And hard work was in his business and toward her. That's how you got to look at it. But if money was if he only could do great by you with money, that's what you're seeking, cool. But if my money is not helping me being nice to you, being not nice, courteous to you, my money is not helping me being chivalrous, how we call it. My money is not helping me think about you when I'm going out. So if I have food and I'm like, let me see, did she eat? Like, eat today? All right, what you want? I'm about to bring back some food. My money is not doing that. Your favorite color, my money is not doing that. See, and that's why I laugh at people when they say stuff. See, I can define what it is because I understand. It's not because I have money. I used to make $50,000 a year being in the military. So that's $4,200 a month. That's not really nothing. I wasted it on dumb stuff. So it's not a big deal. And I like listening to people like, yo, I used to have nice cars and all that, but that's not what excited me. I even had a lady friend that I was with. I was like, I'm happy she finally got to see, and I was helping her. And she just kept saying, help her. I was like, I want to be with you, but it's like, I can't do this no more. I can't for me. But you're going to meet a guy, but I'm happy you learned with me. I'm happy I was a good example to when you meet a man, how we should be treating you. And it has nothing to do with money. I'm happy. But for now, you're going to meet that man. And not how like women, when women say that to me, they start off the bat. You're going to meet that woman because they looking at me a different way. That's cool. And that's why men and women don't listen to each other, because a lot of things I say, it's like, wow, you're not listening to me. You say, I listen to my uncle because he's older. So be it. But I'm your age. I know what men looking for. Since we so emasculated by the women or the patriarchs of the world, why don't you listen to the emasculated man then? He's telling you what the man go do. He's not, you call a man that's teaching a woman he has to do this and that just to be with you. He's dooming her. Because all she's going to look for, she's not going to look for on how he's treating her. And that's not the only thing, because soon as he do one thing wrong, I had women talk about, I stopped talking because you did this. I was like, cool. I was like, that's it. That's all it took. I was like, and that shows like, that's very immature. See, they're not going to learn maturity until they get older, because they got to go through and be like, why it's not working? Because that's very immature. You got an inability to comprehend. You got an inability to want to know more or to understand more besides of what you was just taught. I understand money. You can't teach me nothing. You can't say nothing about money that won't make sense to me. Well, you need money to do that. That makes sense, duh. But that's not the only thing you need. Like, so women don't understand. For a man to spend his money on you, and now it can sound funny and it can sound very weird, but somehow this is part of what that man didn't tell you that was telling you men was trash and men only want sex. Morals, values, and ethics. So the quality of the man, the personality, the makeup of the man, that a lot of men got to find a worth in you first. Are you like you said, is he worthy enough? We do the same exact thing. Is she worthy? And if I can't just go out and buy you something real nice and it's only like $10 and you don't think that's acceptable, that's showing our worth of that. You're not showing me you're worthy of me, because the value, you're placing the value on what of my love with you. That's why bastards like Kevin Garnett going through this. You got to look at that. She's not breaking up with him for reasons because he cheated on her or anything. She don't feel the love. But, and as I tell people, and this one lady tried to argue with me for, these young women, that's what these basketball players and football players in high school, they think they're going to make it. So they can put up with a lot he do. But it's only portrayed as he's cheating, or it's not talking about what she's saying to him. We're not in a relationship. How you know he said that we're committed? And that's the things that we don't talk about. That's why men and women don't listen to each other, and women and men don't listen to each other. Women don't even listen to women sometimes. Men don't even listen to men. But I've been grateful to have men in my life that didn't tell me women are trash. Women are just gold diggers and cheaters. They told me there are good women out there. Like your mother is a good woman. Like, for example, your mother, one of your aunts, one of your this is what they do. They care about you. They know you have a lot of money. They know you got a little bit of money, and they find that out. But they're not trying to break your bank just to enjoy themselves. But they knowing there's going to be times where they can. Imagine if you went with somebody, you go on 2 vacations a year. He splurged on you. And this don't matter how much his money is, because I'm learning something. I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning some things. And you enjoying life together. He loved you. Imagine that person and he work at McDonald's. Now imagine that he work at a Fortune 500 company, or he is some type of person that got in to a nice great job, or he's an athlete or whatever. He make a lot of money, or she do, vice versa. But don't really call you. This other person, like the person that making a lot of money, that make decent money or a good amount, they calling you every. Imagine you getting texts saying "I love you," "How you doing today?" "Good morning." Imagine that to the person that you just think that's how it's supposed to go. But you don't worry about, oh, he ain't calling you every morning, but he do take you out to a fancy dinner. Whoopee, one fancy dinner compared to like 6 in 1 month. You get 2 in 1 month. And to me, it's about quantity and quality put together. I want a lot with a little. I want a little with a lot. So if I give you $6 and I go to Denny's, I rather go to Denny's than go to Salvador's for breakfast, because Denny's going to give me 2 extra pancakes. Salvador is going to be extra more. It's going to cost more, but it's not even of the quality of Denny's or the IHOP or IHOB. The quality of the pancake is going to be different. I'm just going out if you're going out. But if I'm at home too, the quality of the pancake is going to be different because I'm putting my effort into it. Like I know like my pancakes be good. They bring all the girls to the yard because it's better than yours. No, it's a joke. Like Khalid's a milkshake. But it's like that understanding of that is it's the I want both. If you can have both, why not? But if don't force both, sometimes it might take a work to get there with that man and woman and that woman and man. But nobody and black women sitting here like, now this is what I heard as well. Black women was like, we the only race of women that don't sought after a man for his providing, which basically his income. I was like, that's not a true. I was like, I talked to other races of women. I was like, a lot of those women too that they don't talk about on a capital M, capital E, capital D, capital I, capital A, controlled by, we know, the conquerors and war. They don't talk about, well, before all these Arabic men had all this money, we was with these men. They didn't have money. So what are y'all talking about? That's why they laughing at us. That's why I'm like, I'm trying to guide y'all and be like, no, it's out there. Go look it up. It's there for you to go see. Go to the other country to see this. Not all those men have money. Not all of those men are mad. Not them, they say Chinese, Asian women, but they don't blast Asian men. Asian women say Asian men are the worst at courting. They didn't say they was bad, man. But when you're a black man, you're the worst at everything. See, we already got the stigmas and stereotypes. The whole world knows that. But all the black women don't know that when they date Asian, Arabic, they don't know about their history and they choosing them. It's like, you don't know. And I'm trying to tell you, go look it up. Go be around them. You're gonna see, if you say a man is a man, that means all nationality. A man is a man. It depends on the man you talking to. I have nothing to do with my friend. I had nothing to do with him, but we hang out. I'm not a depiction of them two men. One like to have a certain type of thing. One do, but he don't work as hard or he's dirty. One don't know how to talk to, the other one don't know how to talk to. It's like, I'm not that type of man. He's greater at this. He's greater at this than the other friend. But that's them. That's not me. So depiction of me based on one man is weird. Like, it's like, what's going on? That means that's no guidance. That means you was only taught and you was bred, fostered, and nurtured only one way. That's the only way you can come across that. Because a person with a real, like, when a woman say I'm open-minded, but I don't like black men. What? Are you open? So explain you're open-minded now. So I will call him out, like, not call him out to diss him. So I was like, you open-minded, but you don't like me. She won't say nothing. I was like, that's not open-mindedness. You're not open-minded. And she just look at me. I was like, I'm not trying to get mad at you. Even if you give me a reason why you hate me, it's your reason. I cannot be mad at your reasoning. Just like if you only see a man that's paying for everything, I'm not mad at that. I'm not with you. I'm not taking you out. I just want to know from your perspective. I have to get multiple perspectives than just one. So even if a woman was teaching me or guiding me about women, I have to go to other women if I will. So when I meet those women that I want to be with, I'm using that, but I'm looking at the woman for who she is too. So I had to take that into account. Where was she born? How was she taught? She was born with different experiences, nurtured in a household. She was cradled. She was stabilized by the neck and the bottom as a baby a different way than I was. She potty trained at it. It's like so many things we've been through. This is just an example. This like analogies for other things. So you went there faster. Okay, that don't mean you're better. That don't mean I'm less than. It just means I just didn't get there yet. How hard is that? How hard it is to phantom that? That's what boggles my mind. I really do. About men and women. We don't listen to each other. I don't know why. But only way perspective I can come from is because what we were nurtured, fostered, and bred, BREED, to just believe and not know. Until I meet you, I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know all the black women in the world, African descent women of America. But of the world, I don't know all the African descent and black women of the world. I don't know you. So why would I put what she did to me on you? I don't know. It's like, maybe that's the simple, like the creator just want me to go simple on people. Be simple. I didn't do that to you. Why are you saying why you already have a depiction of me? And just because and it's so funny, you're a woman. You got breasts and a vagina. So if you have a period, let's guess. I'm gonna guess out of my mind right now. I'm gonna have to really guess. She might have a period too. She might have a period. She might have a period. She might have a period. Is that correct, woman? Is that correct? Okay. All right, for women. So she have a period. So her menstrual cycle, see me, I'm correct, lasts about 7 days. So hers might last 7 days. Hers might last 7 days. I'm just pointing to fake air just to make an example. Hers might last. So, okay, that's how it works. Okay, that's how it works. Because she have a vagina, she's a woman. She's going to have a period. Oh, okay. All right. And if she's a woman and she's going to have a period, she might blow. She might get cramps. She might get cramps. She might bloat up. She might get cramps. She might bloat up. Okay. Oh, but the difference you get pain. Oh, you don't get pain. Okay. You don't bloat up. You might get cramps. Okay. You see what I'm doing here? You see how I'm taking my time to really understand? And it can sound stupid to people because you're like, well, you're 35. You should know. No. And see, then that's when we limit ourselves. That's the restriction that I'm talking about. I always talk about we restrict and limit ourselves to just one way, one perspective. She's going to have a menstrual cycle, but she did not experience it the same way. I'm going to have a life that I did not experience the same way as he did. So to call me out, to say you're calling me out, or to calling me less than or greater than what you want me to be is wrong. That's why there's good and bad. There's a right and a wrong, the positive and the negative. And I don't know how many people is comprehending what I'm saying. That's why I say men and women don't listen to each other. So when I was having that conversation, it wasn't going to go nowhere because you're not listening. You're just trying to make a portrayal of what you want me to be based on another man teaching to you what was being trained, instead of him saying, well, if I'm going to train you and teach you, it's not a finite answer. It's not a one way to get 1 + 1. I ain't talking about some new Common Core math. I'm talking about easily you taking your fingers. You take 1 to get 1, that make 2. In equations, there's not one way. So life with a person, we all are different equations. If I can make that as simple and plain, equation that are mathematical problems, or the way we were taught and what we experienced, that we're not going to get there one way. Not one person. Not one person going to get there the wrong way. So if you have a plan to only in your business, they have to follow one set. No, I say, I'm going to guide you to this way because this is the programs we are using. Utilize these programs, but your way you do it is up to you. I I can show you, but so much. You have to take on because you got to learn what's best for you. That's why don't the men tell that? Why don't the women teach that to the young women or the young men? What is best for you? I cannot teach you to love your own race of people, but I want to teach you to love yourself. Because I am so much darker than I used to be. I'm dark as my mother and father now. It's funny. I wasn't that dark before. If you look at pictures, I was way lighter. And I'm happy I love my own race of women, all shades and color. And the Puerto Rican dude, I just asked me, why don't you? He showed me his grandfather with the woman he was with. She was white, and he was like Puerto Rican. He was darker than me. She was pale as can be. He was like, see, I got black in me. I was like, he Tino, but I'm talking to him. He's 47. He a little older. And at the same time, I'm sitting here like, that's there. I'm not worried about the skin color. But it was so much of our experiences, what we learned, and we're talking and we're learning about each other's experiences. And a lot of it connects. Well, I'm going to say don't connect, it connects. It casts over, it comes across. It cross each other. Like, wow. And he's teaching about the Buccaneers, about there was the Marines, teaching me about that. He taught me about, what was it? About the Puerto. He was teaching me the history. Like I can teach my young black men and teach them that history. And then if I sit around him, we all learn the history together. It started linking together. It started connecting, intertwining, not intermingling, intertwining of like how this how it went. Even though he's way lighter than me, he's still it's a mixture of people to get where we at. And that's cool. But as long as we stay in that one mind and one zone, people like the one girl try to say you people are closed. Not closed mind. You closed minded. You got a depiction of she closed minded me by saying I'm closed minded. I was like, you didn't even hear what I said. I spoke about me being in the city. She said I'm closed minded. I was like, no, I'm not open to intermingling. So why is I'm like, that's nothing closed minded. That's something I just don't do. I have no racism. I have a racial despair in me. By the way, it's a despair because I was treated a certain way my whole life by my skin color. And the one thing I noticed too, please, gay people, I don't care if you are black. Stop saying black being gay is the same thing as being treated as a black person. No, it's not. Stop trying. I'm not going to associate. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to short being gay to black. Being black to be the Holocaust to being black. To being Arabic, Muslim, telling you as a terrorist to being, because they all have their specific times and era. But I know the one, and it's not the strongest. I'm not going by the strongest. I cannot take off my skin color. Nothing. I'm not going to bleach it either because I love myself. My mother helped me. She helped me in her own little way. That's why I give props to even my father. It's like, people like, I don't like my father because he wasn't. That's not why I don't like him. I'm using the word like. This is like a stale word. I don't want to use it for this to say, I don't like my father by his ways. I thought he was going to be, okay, when I learned, and it made me think, why? And I was like, that's a curse. His father wasn't there. His father treated him bad. I'm thinking he wanted to, and somehow, some way, I don't know why people think this. And I had to come to realizations and reality. You're going to basically become what you're seeing in some aspect. Because a family of 4 children, at least, it can be crackhead, dope dealers. It's going to be like that 1 or 2 children that's not going to do that out of that family. So imagine it's a family having big family. So imagine a whole family of 5 kids all being drug heads, crackheads, drug dealers, pimps, hoes, prostitutes. And then imagine that if they have a family, if nothing changed, and people think, oh, I move out the area, that's going to make it better. I met young men and women growing up, or even now, that grew up in nice areas. They wasn't around the drugs per se, like I was. I mean, literally, like you see the crackheads, like in a movie. We think it's funny. Crackhead walking, you can I suck your for a pack of cigarettes? Y'all think that's funny? That is real. That's happening in 2018. 2018, that's real. That is so real. Like, and we think that's just off a movie. No, that is real. That was happening. It happened to me. I'm like, no, but I get you some food. You like you hungry. Not a diss. It's not even a diss. Like, I'm not hungry. I want drugs. Yeah, you want drugs. And that's how I talk to these people. No, you go get some food or you ain't getting nothing. Oh, you jive, man. You jive. I'm like, yeah, I'm jive. Well, when you want some food, come to me. One thing, I'm gonna get some food. I promise. I promise. You can come follow me. I was like, no, you not. I'm not going to follow you either. I was like, I'll see you again. I'll see if you ate or not. Then I seen him, and I was like, I ain't saying nothing to him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? They're like, good, good. Thank you for the money. Thank you for the money. He looked a little bit happier. I said, okay. I even bring up the food. He's like, you know what, man? Thought about what you said. I got some food. You know, it's funny. I had some left over, so I got me something to drink. But he was like, one thing I did, I had less than what I had before. I was like, that's a start. And see, people don't know people. And I learned too, and this is off the, I'll be off the topic. But everything was pertaining to men and women not listening to each other. But one things that do help people, when you really are encouraged. Because I noticed, like when I worked the job, I was doing basement waterproofing. I was new. I never done that before. And I was learning on the job. They gave me a booklet. I was reading at night. But the booklet only could explain so much in the illustration and words until you do it. And I would do the work. And every time the work about to be completed, he would move me. This is an example. I'm going to bring up other scenarios and examples. He would move me. And then he was like, what's wrong one day? No, something was going on. I was like, I said something to him, but was it mean? And he respected it. It's like, what you mean? And it was on the lines like, every time I do a job, I never see it complete. He's like, what you mean? It's like, because I forgot what we was talking about. I can't recall, I mean. And I was like, I never get to see my work complete. I was like, I dig up the hole, I perforate it, I do everything correct. But then you move me to another place that need more help, or it seems like they don't really need help. It's just cleaning up. And I never get to see my work finished. I was like, and I just said to him, like, that's important. He's like, huh? I was like, that's important for a lot of people to see the work complete, especially if they work so hard. Man, I was like, you know this, man, because you've done this. You just in a little higher position and you still do it, but not at the same level we do it. I'm digging, like literally blood, sweat, and tears for 3 straight days. And then you move me on the last day when we about to put the pipe in to connect to the sump pump. So now, and we bleed the walls. Now everything's going good. And we put the new wall up, we plug in all the holes in, so we connect it. That's the finishing product. I never get to see the finishing product. And he's like, all right. When he started leaving me there. And he started getting I started feeling a little better about myself. Now I'm seeing the finished product. Then it's like, this is how you lay down the cement. They never laid down cement over rocks and over, like, I never did that before. But I never got to see the end of it. I got to see it, but never the end. Like I might be going to a place when they finishing up. And I'm doing other work for the place. So we about to go home for the rest of the day. And we was doing, and that was important because the type of jobs we were doing would really take like a week and a half. And we was completing them in 2, 3, 4 days. And then completing another job. So we doing 2 jobs a week with 2 men and doing a lot of work. Like a circumference of this room and a foot from the wall. And you know, 22 inches is deep. 22, I mean the whole circumference of the room from a foot from the wall. That is a lot of work. So, and that's a lot of cement, a lot of rock you got to dig up too, because remember it was already done before. And that was the level out. So where the water can run through into the house, it goes through those pipes and through that ground, and they go to a sump pump and they spit it back outside, back into the water where it came from. It needed the grass or whatever. So it was like, that's encouraging to see. And that's what I try to explain to women. It's encouraging. Like, we're going to go back to like men and women don't listen. When we producing the hood dudes and the music we was doing, those women are getting the men because they're not feeling rejected. They're feeling Now the dude's like, man, I grew up hood, but now I'm not like that no more. Now they feeling rejected. And the men's that's prospering, it's like the church dudes were now they're prospering, but since now they're in the church, and a lot of guys I know this too only go to the church because of the woman, and they wake them up. It's cool, but the women like that, so they prospering. But the in between guys is like, I always respected women. I may not have some on take of how you believe in the higher power, but what I know of how you know in the higher power and what I know of that, and they're gonna have a take on. There's no encourage. I'm not being encouraged, so it sounds funny. My encouragement is coming from my job because the quality of man I am, I always care for people. Oh, that's what it was. The word I was looking for a couple of hours ago. Like, it's a word. We have lost compassion and passion. That's what men and women have lost for each other. I noticed like when women in the healthcare, they see a person in pain, they're like, well, if you get it done faster, they won't feel it less. That's true. But still at the same time, they're like, boom, 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 like that hurt them. They're like, I know. They're like, and they be looking at me like it's gonna hurt more. I was like, damn, you got no compassion. They just smile, we just laugh about it. Like, dang, y'all ruthless. And the people, and when the people lead her, and it's not a diss to them, it's like, she was rough. There was, but the one guy, and don't think, a lot of older people don't know what you're doing. They're saying. The man told me about how he hired black people in that job. He said a lot of them wasn't working. They wasn't. He said I had a few or two, but I had to cover for them because the jobs did get done, but they wasn't like the boss, the manager over him, because he was the boss, he was a supervisor over them, didn't like that. He's like, why won't you fire these people? They're not doing them, but it was nothing to fire them over, and it was kind of hard to hire more people. So it was like the type of job they were doing. It was good pay. It was over Bethlehem still. So as our father talked about, they worked hard. I'm talking to older white men with no diss. That's letting me know a lot of them didn't work hard. That's why when a woman tell me about how a man telling them that men are trash, I was like, that dude must have been a trash ass man. Because I would never tell my daughter that a man, or my niece. I don't tell my nieces men are trash. My sister said, you always instilling like beauty, like strength. And I was like, yeah. She's like, that's like, what's wrong with that? It's like, no, that's good. I was like, oh, but that's something she noticed and she verbalized it. Because that's what I'm supposed to do with my nieces and then my one nephew. Supposed to instill. Because I'm still, you can't, ain't nothing breaking through me. I know I'm made of skin, flesh, and bone. A steel can go through my hand even if it's not sharp, if you put enough pressure to it. But I know if I put enough pressure to them, to encourage them, to guide them, she already knows she's beautiful. It's not that she don't. When I tell women like, oh, my uncle already taught me that I'm beautiful. So what you say and do don't matter. That does matter. It's more than just, it's an encouragement. So the encouragement is coming from my work. The beat down is coming from the people around me. You got mad because I didn't agree. I'm not mad at you because you just say a man should pay for everything, even the first date. But you had the nerve to talk about me. That hurt. That hurt. That's like, why are you talking about me? It's because I don't agree. I'm not talking about you. I just asked you a question. You got beef with me over a question? I remember Martin Luther King said, a person that disagrees with you, they found a fault in you. But when you finally approach them and try to talk it out, and they still disagree with you, it was no longer your problem. He said, that's on them. I'm quote, not quote unquote. It's like in one of those CDs. You can listen to it CDs. Or if the person punches you because by what they don't like of what you said, you punch them back. But like, who's going to be the bigger person to stop punching the other person and apologize? And that's me. I apologize. So all the women I hurt, all the people I hurt. But if they can't accept your apology, and that's sincere, that's what passion and compassion, they can't accept your apology. That's on them. You cannot do nothing else more. In the sense of what you can, he said, you cannot do nothing else for them. Now, I'm not saying that I can't open the door for them. I'm not saying that I can't give them a good compliment. I can't do nothing more with them. That's up to them. I'm going to treat them bad. I don't have to ignore you. That's not in me. That's not in me. I don't care what other type of people other people do out there. I'm trying to guide you and saying what's in you is in you. You can still be friendly. You can be cool. You can be good to a person that treats you bad. Not saying you can't, but don't expect me to go out of my way. You have that right. Just like they had that right to not listen to you and to help you and ignore you and to treat you bad still, you have that right. I'm gonna help you all the time. I'm doing this because I want to. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that, but they're teaching you the opposite. They're teaching you, they're training you, they're breeding you, they're fostering you. Like I look at black people, we are bringing the white girl with us. We are bringing the white guy with us, the Asian guy. But how many of them will bring us with them? They do, but it's one of us. They won't bring them out, a whole group of us together. We the only ones that will see a person in need. And that's what I want to tell black people. Like, what are we doing? It's good. That's compassion. We have that. We the only one will see people in need and help them all the time. We the most charitable people. We the ones that give out the most money. So when women say like black women don't worry about money, yes, they do. We're the most charitable. That equalize with money too, even those with compassion. So the man, he didn't want to fire those black people. But I was like, why is he telling me this? And I talked about it and I didn't finish it. So he told me this because he said, you remind me of that one guy. He was like, boss, we call him boss. Don't worry about it. That supervisor, he's a dickhead. He don't see what goes on here. He's watching from upstairs. He's at lunch. He at some conference. He's doing the work, but he's not doing this work. And he forgot where he came from. He used to do what we did. He had like, this is easy. But he's like, you a good supervisor. And he's like, thank you for not firing these people. And then this one, he got to learn. This is like this started from the beginning. So he's like, well, he's not making excuses. Like, we're not making excuses. But he's like, a lot of us walk here to go to work. We can't so much afford, not can't, but we don't understand. Basically, he is showing them like they can't afford cars. Just when instructional burden leave the word can't. A lot of things we do, we're not capable of affording. We don't know how to put money to. He's explaining to him to so many words. We don't know this information. So for him to do that, and he was like, we appreciate for keeping us. And we're not lazy. We're just super tired. I'm super tired by the end of the week. By Thursday, I'm digging up those holes. I'm tired. So I like to see my work complete. If I don't see my work complete, that is very discouraging. And he starts showing passion and compassion. And don't matter how much your mother and father taught you that these people are lazy. Now you understand. See, finally, that's why I say men and women don't listen. He finally got to see their side. But until we do that, we're going to always have this discord. That was my last live. Now, I know my lives be going long. A lot of people don't want to listen or watch them. But they're not designed for the average and normal, just regular talk. This is how we say real talk. Because nobody takes the time out and to put effort into even, you put effort into getting that college degree, going to school, doing those projects, doing that homework. But when it comes to other areas of your life, you don't put that same effort. Like a black woman keeps saying, I don't want to struggle with you to make it. But well, if you wait for me and you think I'm supposed to have this place prepared, you're going to wait regardless. So why not even peer in and see how he got there? Talk about, I'm not struggling. You like black men expect us to struggle with it. Or like, how is that a struggle? I'm doing my money right. You're with me. You're working too, right? So how are we struggling? That means if we're struggling, that means we're not doing nothing. We're not putting ourselves together. That's the only way two people that's working together, not even a physical work as in going to a job work. Because if you're telling me you want to have filet mignon, eat at Salvador's, eat at the Casos, expensive places, and you could get the same quality of food if you're going to buy it and cook it, or you go to a least expensive place, the same quality, you telling me that my buck can't go a long way? But the more I spend, our buck won't go too far because we have less of now. See, that's why I like quantity and quality at the same time. I can have a little but still have a lot. Oh, you eating noodles at the restaurant, but you won't eat noodles out the ones we made, and they taste just as good or even better. But you telling me you rather go to a restaurant that's treating you? You gotta have this. I gotta have a certain car. You make 30,000 a year and you buy a car that's 26,000 a year. It's cost 26,000. You make 30,000. That's kind of hard to afford. Why won't you buy a car that's cheaper, the same brand, a different model for only 10,000 or 15,000 out the dealership and only have 100 miles on it or 50,000 miles on it? I don't know how men and women gonna work if within my work we can't work together. We can't work together. It's nothing's gonna work. So we're gonna keep straying away from each other. It's gonna be dividing and separation, constant, because we're making no sense towards each other. Now I'm making sense, and it's like, women, come on, you got to make some type of logic when you talking to a man. And when a man talking to you, he's gonna have logic. When you gonna listen? Like, just because you say a happy wife, a happy life, what about when he's not happy? What other way you can show your worth besides your pussy, your vagina, sucking his dick, his fellatio, oral sex? Have an interest in other things, arts. There's math. There's pool. There's bowling. There's sports. There's the literature. There's the world. There's other things that have worth in. Can you cook? Go take cooking classes. You want to be more flexible? You want to learn what the strippers do? It's funny because it's funny how men go all out to get you and women don't go all in to keep them. And in some cases, women think they know what they're doing. And we're trying to tell them, no, that's not it. It's more to it. We want sex because that's the way to release ourselves in a sexual way. But to release ourselves in a uplifting way, we need some spirituality. We need some kindness. We need some care. That's why men are coming out more and saying, I like affection. I like care. We didn't hear that before because a lot of those men kind of received that. They not even, like, a lot of men are not deserving because they don't know. And it's not a diss to those men. It's not a diss. And all women don't deserve what you got to offer. So I like women say, well, you're not for me. Cool. And women like to say, well, like, they're like, what happened to that woman you was with? I was like, she wasn't for me. They're like, you may not have been for her. They so quick to defend her. Like, you don't know her. This woman could have been day one, just taking money from me on purpose, cheating on me, hiding, and you don't know, but you're defending her already. I don't defend nobody. I ask you, what could you have done in a relationship? People look at me like, what could I have done? I was perfect. No, you wasn't. You was far from perfect because I was far from perfect. What are you saying? You were perfect? How? I'm not even perfect. I would never dare call myself perfect, but I know I'm perfect from the Creator. But if I wanted to figure out what was wrong, why she's not happy, I gotta figure it out. I'm not just gonna do things like, what's wrong? Okay, your past. What about your past that hurt you? That did remind you of me? Oh, it don't? So let's work with it. I really want to work with you. But women won't see that because they worried about my initial. You're worried about not paying for everything. You won't get the quality of men if that's your only thing. It's a lot of men out there that just say, I'll pay. Don't matter. Cool. That don't mean you getting quantity and quality together. And I got compassion for people. So it's not understanding, and it hurt that when I can't, I don't have the means at that time to do what I need to do. It hurts. So don't put more on that person that they can bear. But I know my Creator not. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to worry about that. If that's your means, if you got to go want to be with another person, if you think other men are better, you think other people are better to be around, so be it. I'm okay with being alone because I'm being myself. I find joy and happiness in being alone because I don't have to expend myself to what I am not. This for the young men. A lot of this, I may use words. I use direct words. Like, if the word is ass, I say ass. I can't really sugarcoat ass. That's even in the Bible. If you listening to me and you read the Bible, the word ass is in the Bible. Talk about donkeys, and they say the word ass, ass, as it is, literally. So I say one, I say when I say unto one, I say unto all. This is no different from what I would say to my niece and my nephew, my male cousins and my female cousins. People that know me know I'm not different off the internet. And that's one thing a lot of people are when you hide in your face and you saying you're worried. I'm not worried about threats. I don't have to cover my face because it's like, this is who I am. But when you hide, I don't know who you are. I won't watch you. I will bring you up, but I won't watch you because it's like, who am I watching? And everything. So I'm gonna try to like more throughout the week, give you like different examples. I saved money. My investments is working out. Some of them are not, but the ones I like to are working out. And it's investment in me. So you thought I was gonna say something about like some real. I got investments out there. I got stocks and everything. So it's your choice. It's your path. It's your journey. Choose wisely. Have a great day. Be the best you can. Be all you can be. Don't worry about other people and what they say. Everybody don't have your best interest. Even people that do have more money or that is with you, they don't have your best interest. Start having compassion. That's another one. I'm seeing like the creator was like, show more compassion on people. Okay, I got that. That's what I used to pray about. Compassion and passion, sympathy and empathy. That's why I like naturally he gave that to me. He's like, you had it. You just had to activate it. You had to go access this. But you have to get to know who you are first to do those type of to help push out somebody's stool. That takes some passion. That takes some empathy. Because I don't know how it feels to have stool backed up in you. And it was long. See how it was wired in my head and my hands put the part? It was that long. And then the rest of the stool followed. I don't know how it feels to have a stool about almost 10 to 9 inches, 8 to 10 inches long inside of you. Hard. It's hard, but you're not able to push it out. I don't care if you're dying or not. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not about to say something I shouldn't have said, but that right there, I got empathy to be like, damn, this hurt. It was nasty. It smelled nasty. I was like, man, this is coming out of you. This was the pain. I see why you was in pain now. It was like we was helping that lady. I was like, I felt good about that. Now I'm telling the world, I need to tell the world that I help people or I'm looking to get something. I'm not looking to get none of it. I'm getting my regular paycheck. I'm sorry, my regular paycheck do not pay for that. Even this overtime, like this little money, do not pay for what I just did. But out of sympathy and empathy and passion and compassion, it paid it forward. I pay a lot of things. Well, one thing we never learn, we learn how to give, but learn how to receive as well. I brought that up too. One more. To learn how to receive, I was created like, how do I receive? I don't want to take that. He was like, learn how to receive. He's like, if you want me to give to you out of abundance and you have more than what you don't receive. Well, a lot of black people don't receive. They say, no, I don't need it. I don't got it. I'm not talking about people that complain about they never pay gas. They never do that. I will give you money. Like when my friend, he talked to he was my friend. Kind of like him still be friendly. He's like, I just met him. He's like, man, you gave me $60. He's like, I know you ain't have a lot, but you just gave it to me. You never asked for it back. You didn't say it back. You never did. And that's the type of person I am. I don't ask for money back when you know I gave it to you. And that's the thing about borrowing money. I gave it to you. I know I gave it to you. You know I gave it to you. I'm not going to really ask for it back. I'm not testing you because that's up to you. That's not up to me to remind you that you owe me money. That's not up to me. If you say out, if you put that in the air, that's your spell, your incantation, your chant. I'm going to pay you back. If you don't ever pay me back, that's on you. I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm not mad at you. I just know how to, maneuver the next time. I'll be like, oh no, man. It's reason I have a reason why not to let you borrow this money. So I learned so much compassion and empathy and sympathy. I had to get that for myself now. That's where I'm at in my life. And a lot of people don't. a lot of people that's really like we call mysterious or weird. I even say people was weird. They're weird to me. They weird. It was okay. It was like they're peculiar. Okay, whatever. They're peculiar. People like that. There's more than what you just see. Like you, like she. But what keep us the same is the stigmas and stereotype. If I ask you, that's the way you suppose. I won't get to know more of you until I pay for all your dates. And I'm not the type of man to just pay for all your dates, everything you do. We would never get to know each other because you already eliminated me. I'm not really eliminating you because you just asking me to do. You want me to do what you want me to do. I'm not doing what you doing what you want to do. I'm not kind of control you. I'll just say I don't do that. If you don't want to talk to me after that, I don't have this. You don't want to talk to me. But when I do have it, don't come to me. You can come to me because I'm gonna show you compassion, but it's not at the same level I was showing you the first time. You can say that's cool and leave me alone, but don't talk about me. Don't do things that's like, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you saying that about a person? They didn't do nothing. They physically meant to, but they just asked you a question. If that's hurting you, you need to like literally to check your own life or something. You need to like work, like need to like ask for like some love in your heart. That's not heartfelt. So just work on you, young men, especially the young men and women, especially the black young men. Black young men, it's gonna be hard, man. They making it harder. They're trying to eliminate us, but our women won't see that because they don't listen to us. They don't listen. They got it in their brain that some wiser, older black men taught them this, quote unquote black. They got it in their head. You're trash. You're nothing. But when you tell them why would he say that? He must have been trash himself. Just because he was trash don't make me. They won't hear that part. They hear like, oh, you all. They heard you all trash by my experiences. Sorry that you was in. I want to say sorry in this one area, like the hood, the ghetto, that you just experienced all black men that treated you that way. But I guarantee you ignored some black men that didn't treat you that way. But you ignored them because you was comparing him to other men. You would be shocked. That's why people we miss out. That's why we say we miss out on blessings because they can be. It's a variance. It can be good or bad. We miss out on a blessing. It can be good. We thought that was the best, but we didn't. That wasn't the best. So we got to start thinking about that. Like women, think about that. Not all men is out to get you. Not all men are trying to hurt you. I know you got to keep that in your mind. I will invite you to my house. I'm not trying to have. Believe me, if you said, OJ, let's do it, I probably would. But that's not my first thought about you. It's just I just want to have sex. After sex, what happens next? Like we get pleasure. We looking at each other. We have no connection. We don't know anything about each other. I barely know your name. I have trouble remembering names. I just met you. So why? It would be nice if I can learn all that in one night and then have some cool. But that's not my aim. But if that's our aim, then cool. That's how I look at it. I'm not going to tell you, guide you and saying this is wrong. But know that whatever your actions is, there's a sequence of cause and effects. I like the little short film, The Guy Met the Girl. They both went in their head. They met. They had sex. They got pregnant. They ended up being, at least they didn't want to be then. End up all this stuff. So they both chose to just enjoy the lunch that they was eating, go out. She didn't invite them to the house. And then that was the end of the short film. It was just showing like, man, there's more to it than just what we think it is. Get to know me. And inside of that, it showed that they was going to have a good relationship because it was clicked on together. It wasn't about how much he paid for her or gave her. It was just about like, man, I want a life greater than I never had that. I never met a woman that said, OJ, I just care about you and put effort into me. Like the one lady, she bought me clothes. I didn't want them. And she's like, I'm not turning them. I was like, and she just set them on my bed. I was like, stop doing that. And she would not listen. I was like, that's not how you're going to get me. But then her baby father was in the lives. And she made a baby with him because the girl was cheating. She wanted to prove something to the girl, but it didn't prove nothing. But it happened another daughter that she probably wouldn't have. But it's still a miracle that this little young lady was here. He had a child, he had another son. He don't take the daughters at the same time. Sometimes he get one and the other. I watched him. I was like, wow. She kept telling me stuff. I was like, you got to tell me I'm watching what he doing. That's crazy. You allowing it too. And she tried to hold me to values and morals and ethics, basically her standards. I was like, don't do that to me. You ain't hold him to a standard. He the father of your children, and you're not holding him to a standard. That's why I say men and women don't listen to each other. You put in more emphasis of being strong with me when I'm the one that let you live in my house. Why you wasn't strong with the man that had the girlfriend, but you couldn't live at his house when you asked him? See what I'm saying? It's like, and if I say this to a woman, that's hurtful. If I tell a woman, you have a lot of kids, it'll be very hard for a man that don't have kids to want to be with you. But don't call him less than the man because he don't want to take care of your kids. Like, well, he got a father, but his father ain't there. His father is not in a household. You're raising him in two separate households. He probably have another girlfriend or a wife, and you might have another. And if I'm the boyfriend or I'm going to be the husband, he's in two households. So when he leave here, he goes somewhere else. Or a woman that say, well, now I'm with God and used to be very promiscuous. What is your problem with me going to the strip club? I'm not having sex with the strippers. So it's like, did you forget where you just came from or what you used to do? Well, you better. I'm better too. That's because I enjoy my life. You smoke weed. So imagine if we just keep doing this to each other. We don't have to. It's working in the world right now. You be your best. Have a great day. Shalom.